Greetings, everyone. My name is Fajrin. I'm one of the co-founder and also president of Bukalapak. So, what is Bukalapak exactly? People know us as an e-commerce company. We are one of the leading e-commerce company in Indonesia. But we are actually not e-commerce, or at least not just e-commerce. And later, you will know why. We are a technology company with mission to empower Indonesia, especially small, medium enterprises, or SMEs. But first, why we started Bukalapak? We started in 2010, or about 8 years ago. And if you remember, 8 years ago, there is pretty much no ecosystem of e-commerce or startups in Indonesia. There was no investors. There were no events like this, if any. Very, very few. The term startups was not even mentioned. We usually call ourselves an IT company or technology company. So, three co-founders of Bukalapak, Zaki, Nugroho, and myself, Fajrin. We were just graduated from ITB, from the field of engineering. So three of us were actually engineers ourselves, enjoying life as a consultant. But then we decided to jumpstart into developing Bukalapak. The reason is because we believed in Indonesian economy and also in Indonesian digital economy. Indonesia, as you probably know, and some of you are, oh, Indonesia, one of the big countries, young countries, but we see what happened on the ground. Although it's a very, very big country, there are still a lot of elements that need to solve in the country. It is very big in terms of the GDP. We just passed $1 trillion of GDP, but it's pretty scattered. There is no big modern trade, for example. Traditional trade is contributing into more than 70% of the retails. But again, the population is young, is vibrant, so the potential is there. We can just grow big in the future. And as a result, actually, in terms of the growth, we're actually the fastest in the region and also the biggest. So we think we need to be amongst the first e-commerce company or technology company if you want to succeed. So that's why we decided to jump ship in 2010. It was not easy, obviously. When we started with a marketplace where people as a merchant, as a small, medium merchants especially, can list the products in our platform, and then we provide the escrow system, payment system. So whenever people want to buy something in Bukalapak, they pay to us, and then we will hold the money until the merchants send the good to the buyers, and then we will disburse the money to the merchants. When we started, we only attracted about 5 merchants, about 5, 6 merchants. So yeah, it was not easy. Again, because there was no investors, we couldn't afford to spend money on Facebook or other offline marketing. But we tried. We did bootstrap for about 1 year or so. We got our first seed after we started our operation for more than 1 year. In 2011, we got the first fund, and then we were able to grow into 10,000 merchants in our marketplace platforms. We tried to stay low. We tried to do a lean startup method, so we only actually have about 5 employees during that time. But we continued to grow until now, in 2018, we already attracted 4 million merchants in our platform with over 50 million users in our platform. We are now the 7th biggest overall website in the country. As you know, number 1, Google, number 2, Facebook. I forgot number 3, 4, but we are number 7, the biggest website in the country. We have 100 cities where our merchants form communities. So you go to Jakarta, you go to Bali, you go to Bandung, you go to other big cities in Indonesia, you can actually find communities of Bukalapak merchants. They gather usually once a month. They do share each other's stories, experience when they are selling things in Bukalapak. We now have more than 2,000 employees, about which half is on technology. So we have about 1,000 people working in technology. And we already process billions of dollars of transactions every year, and still growing at roughly 10, 15% month to month. So we're still growing fast, even at this case. But the question is, where is our next step? What are we going to do in the future? The marketplace business, the e-commerce business, we are still doing that. We're still growing fast, as mentioned. But we want to also expand to other services as well, and we have actually expanded to other services. So two areas that I want to share you in this event. The first one is we want to support Indonesian financial inclusion. So this is the program from the government to provide the inclusion to its people. Now maybe some of you will think, oh, it's just another fintech. Yes, we know a lot of people are doing fintech. A lot of people are doing payment. A lot of people are doing P2P. A lot of people are doing investment product and stuff like that. But what made us unique is that we built the fintech amongst our corresponding and already established ecosystem. What does it mean? First of all, we have, for example, the usual feature where as a user, you can actually invest in investment products, like a mutual funds or online gold. So you can pay or invest. In return, you will get this online gold or mutual fund. The gold is actually online in the sense that you can just buy and then store the gold in our company. And then later on, if you want the gold to be sent to you, you can do that. But because we have escrow system, we have a lot of money in the platform, we can ask the merchants, hey, do you want to store some of your sales into gold? So let's say as a merchant, you're selling things for 53,000 rupiah, or to make it simple, $5.30. So whenever buyer pay you $5.30, if the merchant wants, the merchant will just, okay, let's just give me $5. The 30 cents, let's store it in this online gold saving account, so to say. So it's like a spare chance. Like you accumulate the spare chance until it grow big, and then maybe after reach certain 5 grams, 10 grams, you can deliver to you the gold. So these initiatives, in just few months, our merchants have invested more than 1 million times using this. So this is just an example that fintech can actually work. Fintech works the best actually if you have a corresponding ecosystem within it. So it's not like, okay, I want to do P2P, I want to do payment, but you have no use case. You have less use case, then it's less likely for you to be successful. That's what we think. So we also have mutual funds. We have financial products as well, financing as well, because the merchants, a lot of them are SMEs, right? A lot of them are even individual SMEs in the sense that they don't have actual legal entity. So it's difficult for them, although they have a running business, to be able to get loan from the bank. But we do have the data, right? We do have the data that, oh, this particular merchant's actually selling, let's say, $5,000 a month in the last 12 months. So maybe they are eligible for a loan. Now we started giving them loan based on what? Based on historical transaction in Bukalapak. Again, that's an example of how we actually build fintech on top of our existing established ecosystem. The second thing that I'm really interested to share to you is about how we are empowering Indonesian microeconomy through Mitra Bukalapak. Mitra is Indonesian word for partners. So essentially, we want to empower Indonesian microeconomy through these partners. So who are these partners? I mentioned to you that Indonesian retail is composed primarily of traditional retail. So we don't have like a big Costco or Walmart. We have some supermarkets or mini markets, but the majority of retail is actually on a traditional level, traditional stores. So our partners are actually these so-called warungs or mom and pop stores. Because again, we actually have millions of warungs in Indonesia. I think the recent statistics say that we have 4 or 5 million warung all over the country. Indonesia has 4 or 5 million. So what do we do with them? First, we make them our sales partner. Even though Indonesian e-commerce seems big, but in reality, only 10% of people who have ever bought online. So majority of people, the 90% of Indonesian people, actually never bought online. So we can tap into the 10% using whatever online marketing, or we can tap into the 90%. This is how we approach the 90%. So people who are not buying online yet, maybe because they are scared, maybe because they don't know how to, they can just come into these warungs and then ask the warung owners, hey, I want to buy this. I want to buy this. Can you order this for me? And then they usually pay the warung owners in cash. And then the warung owners, as our partners, they will order it for them for some commission. So if we provide a way for these warung owners to get more income with very or almost no capital or inventory risk, because they just download our app, our Mitra Bukalapak app, and then they suddenly become our partners. That's the first use case. The second use case is all of these warung, these mom and pop stores, are actually very small, very small. These pictures, some of them are maybe slightly big, but majority of them are very, very small. So small that not even the principal of FMCG brands or even the distributors want to visit the warung. So for them to replenish the stock, the goods of the stock of the goods in the warung, they need to go to other big stores. They go there every few days, they collect the goods, and then store it in their warungs. So there are few hours of opportunity lost because they have to leave the stores. Now with our app, they can just download our app and then order the goods from our app. Then we will deliver to them. That's why we call it O2O2O, because there are two use cases. One is online to offline, and the second is offline to online. Now we're actually the biggest in Indonesia in this warung platform. We have hundreds of thousands of warung already that partner with us. So this is the example of the app. So if you're warung owners, you can order 1 carton of Indomie, which is, Indomie. And then we will deliver to them. So we partner with the FMCG and distributor to provide good routing to this warung. And this has been growing crazily. In fact, in this month, year on year, we're actually growing more than 5 times since last year. So we're pretty exciting because there can be a lot of things done that can be embedded in these warungs. So those are the 2 initiatives that I can share to you. I asked to also share some key takeaways or action points that you can actually do. The first is actually, we have to start with why. We have to have a big vision. Our vision is, again, to empower Indonesian economy, especially the small, medium enterprises. Because if you have a big vision, then it actually helps you to drive more. You will try harder when you face problem, because as we know, developing startup is never easy. But the second point, which is usually missed by some people, is that it's okay for you to have a big vision, but when you start small. Sometimes we want to copy whatever happened in Silicon Valley and China and try to use it in our case. But that doesn't always work. Learn from them, learn from whatever Silicon Valley or China or other ecosystem, but try to use that as an inspiration to solve your local problems. Because good solution, I think, is actually the one that is solving your exact problem, not the one that is actually copied from somewhere else. So again, if you do that, I believe that you can actually grow very, very much. So that's why when we share the story of Bukalapak, we don't always mention about how successful we are, because we cannot be successful unless if we can make these guys successful. We usually always share stories of Bukalapak sellers who are able to grow from $1,000 business a month into $100,000 business a month. In hoping that more entrepreneurs, more SMEs can actually follow their leads. Now we are working with 4 million merchants in our platform. We're hoping that by 2020, we can actually help 10 million merchants through our platform. Thank you very much. That's all.